It's been around 4 months since we took delivery of our Honda Civic 1.6i DTEC long-term car, and things are progressing smoothly. We've undertaken a Joburg to Mpumalanga road trip, during which the Civic got to show off its abilities as a long-distance cruiser. Besides the decent fuel consumption, even though it had almost no mileage on the clock at the time, the car's well-set-up cabin was the main reason for an enjoyable trip. This isn't the top-of-the-range Civic, but the cabin lacks almost nothing in the way of comfort and convenience. A very comfortable driver's seat is the starting point. Add to that solid ergonomics, good materials and no shortage of spec, and you have an interior that stays comfortable even over longer distances. The highlights include heated seats, cruise control and Bluetooth. We've spotted one slight shortcoming though, a result of odd software design rather than poor functionality. In most cars, the odometer and trip meter are visible at the same time, and for those cars where they aren't, it's usually a simple click of a button to display one or the other. In the Civic, you can only view either the odometer or the trip meter, and to switch between the two you have to go into a sub-menu of the car's settings. It's not enough to take away from an overall experience that is positive, but it is an odd way of doing things. The rear seats with their vertical folding mechanism have already proved useful, allowing the loading of items on the floor inside the car, where they're more secure than in the boot, where they would tend to slide around. The rearward view from inside the car is compromised by the design of the tailgate, and although we are used to it, it's still not ideal. When reversing, things are helped by a rear-mounted camera, but there's no traditional park distance control system attached to it, which means no audio warnings as you approach objects in the car's path. As for the drive, the Civic delivers good load-on power and decent open-road performance. The clutch action has taken some getting used to, and there is still the occasional unintended wheel spin or torque steer off the line. The comfort of the interior is matched by the ease of use of the car's controls. Steering is light and the 6-speed manual gearbox has a solid action. We are fans of Honda's split display system, which shows the revs on a traditional analog dial, above which is the digital speedometer. Indicator lights either side of the speedo give a visual clue as to how economically you're driving, with the aim being to keep them as green as often as possible. Overall economy is improving, although we are still a long way off from Honda's claimed combined cycle figure of 4.1 litres per 100 k's. We started around the high 6-litre mark, but have seen a steady decline to its current level of 5.8. Even though we've had the Civic at RPM for a while now, we're still not used to its rear styling. The pronounced edges of the tailgate's mid-mounted wing are just a little bit too prominent for us. And although this particular Honda isn't exactly the most subtle design in the world, that particular element almost spoils what is otherwise an attractive package. It's still very early days with our Civic. We're enjoying it on a daily basis, but we're very curious to see how the fuel consumption figure changes as the kilometers pile up. A solid start, but there is still room for improvement. The Honda Civic has proven itself to be a good cruiser. The fuel consumption is steadily improving, but has a way to go to match the manufacturer's claimed figures.